I hate it. I hate the entire world, especially when it does not reward hard work. What happened to you shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hands, you shall be blessed, and it shall be well with you? Josh Hawley raised his hand all the way to the sky. But where is the fruit? Oh God, why did you leave him on his own? Ted Cruz traveled 800 miles just to get electricity, food, and water for his people, his fellow Texans, his wife, his children, and himself. Ted, as I like to call him, and Josh spent so many hours writing and rewriting the speech that they both gave on the Senate floor. As the old man's electoral votes came for counting in the Senate, they were tireless workers. They sent email after email, text message after text message to raise money so that they can stand up for the left behind by taking money from the left behind. And this is what they get in return. Can you see this chart, God? Why are you so heartless? Ron DeSantis is not even a name, and he is number two. I can understand how Kristi Noem got up there. There is no other governor, other than Doug from North Dakota, who has done a better job with COVID than her. She is number two on the list of 50 states, so her position in the CPAC straw poll is as Republican as it can get. Nikki Haley, who changes her suit as fast as the weather in Seattle, is number 4. Mike Pompeo has 2%. What did he even do? And Ted Cruz is the last on the list with just 2%. Poor Josh Hawley is not even on the list. So the two men who worked the hardest, one comes last and the other one is not even in the picture. What kind of a world is that? Don't despair. Josh and Ted, don't despair. Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Josh, keep your hand up there. The fruit is somewhere. That's the thing you guys will never understand about Ted Cruz. He did take so much effort. He even prepared to argue the Supreme Court case that was tossed out by the Supreme Court with just 3 sentences. He did everything he could to give a constitutional address to the farmer guy's claims. Do you have any idea how many nights he ran up and down to find that dress? And Hawley walks in with a clenched fist. Someone takes a photo, and it's not even a full-sized one. Someone cropped it into half, and the entire world cannot stop talking about the top half of Josh Hawley. What will the poor Ted Cruz do? That's why he took the flight to Cancun. It was his master plan to make the entire world take notice of what is going on in Texas. How else he can make the world understand the problems of Texans? When they know a rich senator has to run away with his family to another country, then the world will sit back and take notice. Then they understand how big the problem is. And it did work, isn't it? Would AOC have traveled all the way to Texas to load water bottles into the back of cars if Cruz did not run to Cancun to fetch a pail of water? No. All the millions AOC raised, it was because of Ted Cruz, not because of AOC. And she never gave him credit for it. But that's how the Democrats behave anyway. They're a bunch of thieves. No one was paying attention to Beto. But with one trip, Cruz gave him the platform to talk about Texas. And then people noticed, and he was on the ground doing people's work. Ted's trip spurred Lacy Beto to work hard. Otherwise, he would have been just taking Twitter pictures and slept in his home. Ted Cruz did what Beto's mom couldn't do for years. No one understands Ted, and Cruz knows that. But you guys should also understand this. He will never give up fighting for Texans. If he can help only 3 Texans and he was forced to leave a dog behind to do that, he will still do it. It's an unfair world, and Cruz will never stop taking the fight. Now, over to the CPAC poll. Trump is getting only 55% of support, which is not the number he would have loved to see. He would have definitely hated it. But before we jump into the conclusion that he is losing Republican grassroots support, we need to understand that this poll was for people to express their support for a potential hypothetical 2024 nominee. So when they were asked the question, they would have asked themselves who could be the nominee and who we want to support. Most of them do not think that Donald Trump will be the nominee, and that explains the 45% that went for the other candidates. Trump will be 78 years old by 24, and a lot of Republican voters now who are at the CPAC are not thinking that he will run again. That number would have been completely different had Trump announced on Sunday that he will be running again. It was an extremely disappointing result for Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley to be in the bottom of the pile, and both of them have already hitched their wagon to the land of the right, and they cannot detach and run to the center ever in their life. I believe both of them tried a little too hard and it's hurting them. The top four after Donald Trump are all candidates who want to run, but they have not made their aspirations well known. The lack of presidential spotlight is actually helping them, and this poll will encourage them to keep doing what they are doing. All of them will continue to avoid the national spotlight as long as they possibly can, and they will do everything behind the screens, keep attacking the Democrats, and jump into the race as close to the election as possible. And by the way, where is little Marco? If you like the video, please subscribe. That is the least you can do for Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. Please don't break their hearts. Thanks for watching.